This is me on a beach in Mexico in December of 2013. I was 25 years old and I was attempting to turn a family vacation into an opportunity to make a music video. This music video will turn out bad, and it will turn out bad because of 3 reasons. 1, the idea was bad. 2, I was in my first year of really trying to become a filmmaker, hence I did not know what I was doing. And 3, and most importantly, I was not in the right mind to be making a music video. You see, just 20 days earlier, my cousin unexpectedly died at the age of 27. And so just a week prior to this trip, I was at his funeral. And now here I was on a beach in Mexico, pretending that everything was okay. But it wasn't. I was grieving the loss of a loved one, and I was trying to escape that grief by turning a vacation into a creative project. It's okay though, because even though this music video won't turn out very good, the footage I will capture on this trip will be used for a video that I will make years later. A video that will be seen by 4.1 million people online. A video that will be turned into a short film that will get a Vimeo staff pick. A short that I will be incredibly proud of. But this Kyle at 25 on a beach in Mexico, drunk on margaritas and deep in the fog of grief, has no idea about this, about any of it. Kyle thinks that this music video he is making will be a hit, that it will go viral, and it will take his music and film career to that next level. But it won't. And that's okay. In fact, it's more than okay. It's how every creative should approach each and every project they make. Dream big, but learn to bounce back quick when inevitably you fail 9 times out of 10. So what was the idea of this music video that I was making, you might ask? Well, the idea was built around a question. What if the moon didn't exist? And then one day, it was just there in the sky. How would people react to its presence? To be real honest with you, I have no idea why I thought this was a good idea. But at the time, I thought it was a really great idea. And somehow I roped my wife and her siblings and cousins and extended family to be a part of this project. And in hindsight, I kind of cringe at this. Like, everyone was just there to enjoy this really amazing trip that my wife's parents planned and paid for everyone to be at. It was a super generous gift, and I was stealing time to make a music video. So when we got back home, I started to edit the video, and a couple of months later, I released it. And in the first month of its release, it was seen by 158 people.
And you know, that tracks. It makes sense. The video wasn't very good, so not a lot of people saw it. But I really like the footage that I captured from that experience. And so I put it on a hard drive, and every once in a while I use it for different creative projects. And then flash forward, fall of 2021, I am at a dinner table with my father-in-law. And funny enough, this is the month before I stopped drinking. And so we're having glasses of wine and we're reminiscing about that experience in Mexico. And I tell my father-in-law about how, this really wild thing happened to me when we were in Mexico. I was very much deep in grief, and one night I walked down to the beach and I found $5 in my pocket. The significance of that is that me and my cousin had this ongoing joke years prior to when he passed away, that if you want to save any bad story, just add to the end that you found $5, because it'll immediately make the story more enjoyable. And then so if someone told a bad story, we go, so when did you find $5? And so it felt like this little sign, this little point of connection between me and my cousin. I was telling the story and I'm realizing this is a story I should tell online, because I was starting to get some momentum around my art on TikTok. It was the first time ever really that I had an audience for my work. I used to make a lot of films, a lot of videos, and most of the things weren't seen by anyone. But things were starting to gain traction, and what I realized what gained traction was when I combined mixed media animations and storytelling. So I thought, I need to make this into a short video for TikTok. A couple weeks later, I make the Found $5 video, and I put it online, and about 18,000 people saw it. And I thought, that's amazing, that's really cool. But there's a part of me that was like, this can reach more people. So, every once in a while, every couple months, I posted Eventually, in the spring of 2023, I had a video go viral. Off of the success of that viral video, this moment in time where my account was getting a lot of attention, I decided to reshare the Found $5 video again. But this time I cut a couple seconds off and I used a different song. This song I just found a couple of days earlier by this artist named Andrew Kamen.
Yeah, I was just rewatching the video, dude. It's like, it's nice to see it. I hadn't seen it in forever. I, go to check to see who uses, like any artist can see who uses their song. And so, just happen to look all at once and, okay, this video has 100 views, 200 views. It says like 3.4 million. What? And it was like, that's a big deal, right? I mean, like,
I share it out again and it takes off real quick. Over the course of a couple of days, it gets to 1 million plays. Then it gets to 2 million, it gets to 3, it gets to 4.1 million plays in total. And I found your song, I'm like, this song is the perfect song for it. And the way I found it was there was a video, I think it was like Jack Kerouac or some like beats. Do you know about this video of using your song? Like,
yeah, Kerouac.
Like, yeah. It was a Jack Kerouac video.
Yeah.
I'm like, this song is amazing. Like, I didn't know your music yet. That was my first exposure to you, and I immediately was like, this is my go-to song to use for things moving forward. Did you know it was special when you wrote that song?
No, well, that sounds cliche, but no, it is such a funny bias though, and you might experience this as well. Like when you start to perceive it differently when everybody accepts it,
Mm-hmm.
So at the time I wouldn't have thought that was just like one song, and little like October of 2021 was just dropping a lot of stuff, and that was like one of them.
Did you see any changes in like people listening to that song specifically on Spotify or things like that? Do you see any like on your side like stats change?
Oh, it was so funny to see the graph on your like statistics on Spotify for artists. It's like this spike. So the jump from 300 to say like 1,500, then 1,500, after you posted the video, it's probably like 30K, 30 to 60, 60 to 100, 100. Wow. And it's just like insane because this happens on TikTok all the time, but it never happens on Spotify.
It was a really rewarding moment as like a filmmaker of realizing that for many years as a filmmaker, I wanted to run away from my real stories, my truth and my life, and make up stories. And I think it was because I was afraid to lean into my own life, tell the stories that are actually meaningful to me. This moment of realizing that I just needed to make something that was honest and raw and that people would gravitate towards that. It was really cool. And me and Andrew became friends as a result of this and accidentally became collaborators. So fall of 2023, I was invited to this event that Vimeo was hosting that was 15th year anniversary of the Vimeo staff pick. It was a really awesome event. I really was very inspired after leaving it. And I've been a huge fan of Vimeo and what they do with the Vimeo staff pick. So next month I decided to make something specifically with the hopes of posting it on Vimeo. I decided to make a more fleshed out version of Found $5, put some more time and effort into making something. And again, I used Andrew Kamen's song All at Once. A couple of days after I posted it, I got one of the coolest emails I could ever get, which was, congratulations, you've been selected for a Vimeo staff pick, which I cannot describe to you how amazing it felt. It just was one of those filmmaking goals I've had for so long that to finally get it just felt just surreal. That's all I can say. It's just so cool that like Kyle 2013 version, standing on a beach in Mexico, had no idea all these cool things that will happen with this footage that he's filming. All that needed to happen was for that filmmaker on that beach to start telling stories that are actually important to him. And finally, I feel like I can't end this video without talking about my cousin. This was his hat that I hold very dear to me. His name was Mike, and He was a really, really good cousin to me growing up. He always looked out for me. I loved skateboarding with him, and we would go on camping trips and go snowboarding together, and have so many fond memories as a kid growing up and spending time with him, you know, whether it be spending Christmas Eve at his house or going on trips together. And I'm really grateful I got to tell this story of this moment that really happened to me on the beach. In grief, there is like, you know, little reminders of that person, you know, who I just needed to tell you about him, and I'm grateful that the story about this experience resonated with people. So thank you for watching.
Oh, and one last thing, the kind folks at Music Bed supplied all of the music in this video, and I'm really grateful to be a friend of theirs. And so if you are looking for good music for your videos, please check out Music Bed. That's what's up.